This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
They look more like myself in the mind. I always see you. If I let them know, fuck up my brain. Lately, I need a reason to hold on. Motivate me to go strong. It's a problem and I just can't hold on. I've been fighting my demons. Lately, the pressure been stacking up high. You either swim or you sink and you die. And you cannot start if you play from the side. Lately, I need a reason to hold on. Motivate me to go strong. I don't want them demons off me. I just want them all. I've been fighting my demons.
Following program is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, you so know it, and so do I. It does not matter who the host is. What has always mattered is who the listeners are. Anyways, we are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM as we are hanging out on this lovely Whip 'em Out Wednesday, May the 7th of 2025, day 127th of the year. And only 238 days left to go. You know, as we're doing this stuff inside of this multiverse, we're also hanging out with these peeps.
Radio in USA, Canada, UK.
Yep, that's how it goes. We hang out, we say hello, we do the things that we do, and no doubt about that, it is a cluster of the stuff that we got going on. No doubt there. Anyway, so let's talk about it. Our show consists of safety in the news and safety. That's what it's been about. That's what it's about. And I don't think that that's going to change anytime in the near future. So if you're good with that, I'm good with it. And we can start talking and doing all that kind of stuff. If you want to interact with the show, simple process in doing so. All you have to do is go to callinradio.com. That's callinradio.com. That will get you everything inside of there. Once you get in there, audio, video, and text messaging is the options. I know everybody's preferred method, so it's mine, is the text messaging. Makes life easier. Gives me a little prompt on the screen. We move forward. Life goes on. I say, hello, dear John, and life goes from there. So that's it. That's our show. That's what the show consists of. This is hour 1 of 3, and people go, what? Yes, hour 2 and 3 airs on radiobig.fm, exclusively there. So don't worry. We're not going to torture you here on Safety FM or on a video. We do video because people requested video. Let's be realistic. We're a radio station first that goes into a podcast network and then moves from there. So if you're good with that, I'm good with it. So with that being said, why don't we start talking right away about what the hell was trending in the overnight?
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so here we go. Let's talk about what's on tap, what's notable, what's noteworthy, and we'll go from there. New reports of turmoil in China amid ongoing tariff battle. So we're going to talk about that. What happens at the Met doesn't always stay at the Met. We'll talk about some of that in show business. Also, ABC News is working on a daily Diddy series, and Billy Bush is leaving Extra. Well, not that he's leaving because he is extra, but he is leaving extra. But we'll talk about that as we get into our news stories. And also Megan Sussex. Yes, Megan Sussex will be dishes on her pregnancy routines. Yep. So there's some stuff to talk about, some stuff to take a lingeringer at. So if you are not aware, yesterday we dropped a new episode of Safety FM with Jay Allen about some interviews that we did in good old Banff for Energy Safety Canada. Now, listen, I got to hang out with and talk to Steve Ray, one of the only survivors of the Piper Alpha event. So if you have not taken a listen to it, I would strongly encourage you to take a listen. And we go through some interview aspect, or he goes through his presentation. At the end of the actual presentation, we start going through an interview of us talking about a little bit more behind the scenes, what was being what had happened during the event. And then there's a portion that he talks about that he called his mom post-event. And he said that he wouldn't talk about what he talked to his mom about, at least from the stage aspect. But we talked about it. So some stuff there if you're interested. Safety FM with Jay Allen. You can find it pretty much anywhere on any podcatcher that you're using. That will be kind of the test though. Anyways, with that being said, I have some of my friends from Feature Story News that are waiting around. They want to talk to you. They want to hang out with you. They want to do all the fun stuff in regards to telling you what the hell is going on inside of the world of the news. So if you're good with this, I think I'm good with this. So let's go in there right now.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in Rome, I'm Ollie Barrett. Days after 26 people were killed in a terror attack in Indian-administered Kashmir, New Delhi says it's hit terrorist infrastructure in Pakistan. India's defended the strikes, targeting 9 locations across Pakistan and Pakistan-administered Kashmir, calling its response measured, responsible and designed to be non-escalatory in nature. Neha Punia reports from New Delhi.
Overnight, the Indian government announcing that it's carried out strikes on what it calls terrorist infrastructures in Pakistan. It says these were all establishments where terror attacks against India have been planned and directed from. The statement also said that New Delhi's actions have been focused, measured and non-escalatory, and that India has shown, quote, considerable restraint, and it's lived up to its commitment that those responsible for that attack in Kashmir will be held accountable. The Indian Army has posted on the social media platform X a while ago saying justice has been served.
Following Indian cross-border strikes, the security level across Pakistan has been heightened. Pakistan claims in retaliation it shot down 5 Indian fighter jets. From Islamabad, Hira Mustafa.
The military spokesperson is also confirming that India has carried out these missile strikes targeting the civilian area. So there are concerns among the officials that there are reports of casualties, and they have deemed next couple of hours very critical. We have seen a very strong statement coming from the Pakistan's Prime Minister, who has categorically condemned this attack that's been conducted from the Indian side, stating that this is a coward attempt of India. And we have seen statements pouring in internationally. U.S. President Donald Trump has also expressed its concern about the escalating situation between the 2 nuclear-armed neighbors.
In other news, the Catholic Church's cardinals are beginning a conclave to choose their next pope. There will be 1 round of voting on Wednesday after the cardinals have sworn their oath of secrecy. Chinese Vice Premier He Lefeng will lead trade talks with US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and US Trade Representative Jameson Greer later this week in Switzerland, seeking to de-escalate a tariff standoff that's threatened to hammer both economies. It'll be the first confirmed trade talks between the countries since President Donald Trump announced levies as high as 145% on China that were met with retaliatory rates of 125% from Beijing. From Hong Kong, Laura Westbrook.
China's Ministry of Commerce said in a statement that the US should show sincerity in the talks, correct wrong practices and resolve the concerns of both sides through equal consultation.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks, looking in more detail today at the London Defence Conference. It's going to be taking place later this week in the British capital, an annual event bringing together leaders, policymakers, defence officials and industry figures. And this year, the focus for the conversation is the future of alliances. Prime among them, NATO, now that Donald Trump is back in the White House. Ian Martin is one of the conference's founders.
Europe has to almost prepare for the worst and hope for the best, and develop more of its own capacity, so that as America draws down, ignore Trump's rhetoric, this is just naturally going to happen over the next 10, 20 years. America is going to do less in Europe, and European governments and societies are going to have to do more. We're all going to have to get used to this idea that we're spending more, and it's not just a blip. This doesn't finish if there is some kind of uneasy peace in Ukraine. The threats, whether that's cyber, undersea cables, what's happening in the high north, the entire sort of panoply of threats, which is much more complex than is often presented, we're going to have to spend more wisely, and it's going to be very difficult for governments, of course, because the public doesn't necessarily want to spend that money.
And that conference will be held at King's College London later this week, the latest international gathering to help redefine the contours of foreign policy. I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, days after 26 people were killed in a terror attack in Indian-administered Kashmir, New Delhi says it's hit terrorist infrastructure in Pakistan. Following the Indian cross-border strikes, security across Pakistan has been heightened. The Catholic Church's cardinals are beginning a conclave to choose their next pope, and Chinese Vice Premier He Lifeng will lead trade talks with US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent later this week in Switzerland. From Feature Story News in Rome, I'm Ollie Barrett.
Listen to our host of the Rated R Safety Show self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-669-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
Well, you might be like me and heard all these terms and were not 100% sure on what they meant. Things as mining, blockchain, the Internet of Things. Well, I will tell you, we here at Safety FM have partnered up with a company that will explain this to you and will also have conversations to inform you on how you might have the potential of making passive income by being involved with this. All you need to do is go to safetyfm.com/iHub. They'll discuss blockchain. What exactly is mining? What is cryptocurrency? And what is the Internet of Things? To find out more information, go to safetyfm.com/iHub. That's safetyfm.com/iHub. And don't forget to mention that Jay Allen sent you.
This isn't a safety manual. It's a transmission. Jay Allen, PhD, host of the Rated R Safety Show and founder of Safety FM, has spent years pulling back the curtain on the systems we work in and the ones we don't talk about. What started as a fatal crash on the 405 became a search for truth. Through behavior-based safety, human and organizational performance, simulation theory, and everything in between. Safety, in my opinion, is raw, reflective, and real. From burnout to breakthroughs, from the matrix to the moment someone says, "This doesn't feel right." This book doesn't give you answers. It hands you the signal. Safety, in my opinion. Available now, wherever books and audiobooks are found.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
Oh, yes, that's what we're doing, hanging out, doing our thing. If you don't mind, as we're doing everything. So let me talk about the book real quick, just for a brief moment. If you go right now to no, I lied to you. I almost lied to you. If you go to Safety IMO, okay, got it? So safety, in my opinion, safetyimo.com, and you go there and you click on the section that says audio-wise for where you could get the audiobook, and you put in the code SFM. SFM. The audiobook's yours for free. But under Soundwise, don't confuse it with the Audible one. So if you go to safetyimo.com and click on the section that says audio-wise, or I just lied to you, it's Soundwise, not even audio-wise, it's Soundwise. If you click on the section that says Soundwise, you can download the book for free, the audiobook version. So there you go. That's my gift to you, for you to take a gander of the things that are going on inside of there. And I know somebody reached out to me and goes, "Jay, that's a terrible business model." No, it's not a terrible business model. I want to share the message with everybody in regards to what we came up with. Let me make sure that I grab the right one. If you're on the video, yes, that's it. Safety, in my opinion. It's not a manual, it's a transmission. Yep. That's what it's about. So there you go. For you to do. Yeah, it's a thick one. And the only reason I tell you that, because I wrote in it how I speak with very long delays. And like I keep on telling people, read it slow. And why? Because it took me a long time to write it. That's why. Anyway, so let's get into it. Let's talk about some things that are going on inside of the world of the multiverse. As American tariff continue to clobber the China's economy, its factory shutdowns have triggered workers' protests over unpaid wages. The Goldman Sachs analyst suggests that tariffs could put an estimated 16 million Chinese workers out of a job. American and Chinese negotiators have not publicly admitted to entering into negotiations about the tariffs, though the Chinese diplomats have opened the door to negotiate ways to stem the flow of fentanyl into the United States. Yep, that's according to Zero Hedge. The American and Chinese trade officials are expected to meet this week at the World Trade Organization Summit in Geneva. or Geneva, depending on how fancy you want to get when you're talking about it. Or, excuse me, how fancy you want to get when you're, can we do this right here?
When you're talking about it. Yes, that's what it said.
Okay, so there you go. Also, an Antifa domestic terror group took control of a building at the University of Washington campus on Monday night. Beginning Monday night, radicals cloaked head to toe in black occupied a building and blockaded the doors. They then dragged in a bike rack and dumpsters as barriers and lit fires inside of the perimeter. Even Seattle police and state patrol officers rebuffed by nearly 60 activists standing side by side as a shield. Their main demand was that the state university system reject that any money from Boeing. Employees are barred from teaching any classes. They blame Boeing for supporting Israel. Eventually, the police with riot gear and tactical armor arrived, and they were able to resecure the building. This is according to TPM. Some weird stuff there.
Duh.
That's what it sounds like to me. I don't know. I look at some of this stuff, and I understand protesting. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's these blockades and stuff. Like, I'll tell you, there's not a mall too far from where I live that some people were blockading in front of the mall. And this was a hot minute ago at this point, because I always tell people, oh, yeah, that happened like 3 months ago. And you end up finding out like 3 years. That when they blockaded, people were pissed, number one. And they did it on one of the main roads here in Orlando. I'll tell you that some people did not like being blocked. And they took matters into their own hand. I just don't ever know what's the right thing, what's the wrong thing. It just gets very weird from time to time when we start talking about it. No doubt about it. Okay, there won't be a Triple Crown winner this year after the owners of the Kentucky Derby winners Sovereignty announced that it wouldn't run in the Preakness Stakes later this month. Organizers for the Preakness haven't shared an official reason, but said in a statement that Sovereignty team still has the eye on the Belmont Stakes in June. Following the race, one member of Sovereignty management team told the media Sovereignty ran really hard today, and specifically when you get a closer from the pace like that, that's that you have to lay their body on a line for a little bit. And then we'll see what the outcome is. This is according to NBC News. I mean, I didn't understand this whole horse racing thing, but I after this, I still don't understand it. I mean, but whatever. It's not my foray. We talk about these things because that's what we do. We just talk a little bit about everything that's going on. Anyways, update with eyes on the skies ahead of the re-entry of an abandoned Soviet-era spacecraft at some point in the next few days. And amateur astronomers think that spacecraft parachutes has already been deployed. Cosmos 482, designed to travel to Venus back in 1972, but a glitch during the launch left the lander module to orbit around the Earth. Since it was designed to survive early into the Venus harsh atmosphere, there were concerns that it may not just burn up during re-entry. One satellite tracker out of the Netherlands said that the images of the spacecraft show a weak, elongated structure at one particular side of the craft. Until then, Cosmos 482 is expected to begin the descent back to Earth sometime on Friday or Saturday. This is according to space. Now, not like this space, but like space. You know?
Space.
You get it. You get the drift. So there you go. Some stuff there. What else do I got? Okay, thanks to the resilient economy, tech-savvy students, low crime, and healthy residents, Utah has been named the best state in the country by the U.S. News for the third year in a row. Rounding up the top five is New Hampshire, number 2 for the second year in a row. Idaho, Minnesota also maintained its spots in Nebraska. States are ranked with 8 categories: healthcare, education, natural environment, opportunity, economy, crime and correction infrastructure and physical stability. This is according to U.S. News. Meanwhile, Copenhagen, Denmark, has been named the happiest cities in the world. The Institute of Quality of Life, the U.S. cities that made the top 20 is New York City at 20, according to the Happy City Index, which looks at access to public services, education, environmental protection, and inclusive policies for ranking the systems. This is according to Happy City Index. You know, I have to move to the city. I'll take the city where it all begins. So there you go. Some stuff to talk about. Are you happy in your city? Do you need a copy of the Happy City Index? I mean, I don't know. Where I live, I don't think it's bad. I mean, I like this little town of Orlando. The biggest complaint that most people have is, there's nothing to do around here. I say that sarcastically, by the way, just in case. No, but it's just one of those weird things that you look at it and you go, wow, what a time. That's for sure. So just some stuff to talk about as we are hanging. Let's continue talking about some other things. Let's get into the swamp, because that's what we do. A new Prime Minister of Canada, Mark Carney, traveled to the White House to meet the president on Tuesday, when Carney, said that an American
assassination of Canada is not possible.
That the country won't be for sale, not ever. Trump replied, never say never. Interesting. The Supreme Court issued an unsigned ruling on Tuesday, allowing Trump administration to proceed with its ban of transgender troops. 3 liberal justices dissented, but offered no reasoning. So there you go. Some stuff going on there. What else do we got for you? Okay, let's talk about the numbers. The Dow lost about 389 points to close at 40,829 on Tuesday. The S&P lost 43 points to close at 5,606. And the NASDAQ lost 154 points to close at 17,689. The national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.15 on Tuesday. And Bitcoin ticked up, trading just over $95,000. Tonight, Powerball drawing will be for, $65 million jackpot or a $29.9 million cash payout. So if you want to play the game, you have the opportunity to do so. So there you go. Some information for you. Okay, several celebs broke the Anna Windsor no photo rule this year at the Met Gala. Rapper Megan Thee Stallion, singer, actress Hal Bailey, and musician Questlove also saw some behind-the-scenes snapshots. Meg posted the footage she took on Instagram showing off several famous faces, including Cynthia Erivo, Tracy Ellis Ross, Michael Kors, and Ciara. No word on whether or not if the Wind Tour has unleashed the wrath over the faux pas of what they did. So there you go. What else? A 70-year-old man drove his car into the gate surrounding Jennifer Aniston's Bel Air home on Monday. The actress was home at the time of the incident, though likely didn't come into contact with the guy as her security responded swiftly. The driver was arrested, though it was unclear what charges he might face. This is according to TMZ. So interesting. I mean, would you come out for something like that? I'm just saying. I'm just trying to understand it. Something that makes more logical sense as we're going through it, of course. What else? One of the men behind the thwarted bomb of Lady Gaga's Copacabana beach concert in Rio was reportedly deported from the United States last month. He also was also in Brazil illegally, by the way. 2 suspects remain behind bars in connection of the plot, in which they were allegedly going to set off bombs near the stage to execute fans as they escaped. So, I don't know. What is going on? Some very weird stuff is what it seems like. So let's see. We talked about Billy Bush earlier. Should we talk about that? The rest of that story? Let's do this. So after 5 seasons of hosting the entertainment news series, he announced on Tuesday that after his current season, he will move on to continue building his Hot Mics, MICS, digital platform. Bush replacement will kick off season 32 this fall. So no more Billy Bush in regards of at least there, but he'll be doing his own thing going forward. So if you're a Billy Bush fan, you might want to take a look around on what's going on. So there you go. What else do we have for you? Okay, country singer Zach Brown scored 2 mega deals worth $350 million this week. He re-upped his record label, Warner Brothers, and is either in the process of selling or has sold his publishing catalog. The group behind the purchase is reportedly a new company called the Merit Group that is headed by former Warner Brother Records CEO Cameron Strong. Meanwhile, Brian is set to headline the AEG Hyde Park BST Festival in London this summer. This is according to Variety. On the stuff that's going on. So, there you go. Some stuff for sure. Don't know what to tell you. Some information to share, some information to gander. So there you go. Anyways, we are so close to this main story that I think that we should probably kick it off and start talking about what's going on, because life is going on, things are changing, and it is time to talk from time to time about some of the stuff-o that we need to discuss-o, because if not, then we're just kind of sitting around going, what are we doing here? So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into our main story.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, Rated R Safety Show, hanging out, doing our thing. No doubt about that, because there is a lifetime and a plethora of things to go over in very short time to do so. So let's start talking right away about some of the stuff that is happening inside of the multiverse. And let me talk about this because I'm starting to get slightly confused as I go around. As I get to hang out with people, and as I get to do some of the stuff that I get to do. And the reason that I say that I'm slightly getting confused is because I never understand lingo. I never understand what we are trying to accomplish in the long run of things. Because listen, sometimes life is not easy. Not going to lie here. Life is not, it's not the easiest thing to figure out. But what happens when language starts being replicated that does not apply within the system you're working in? Think about it for just one moment. Have you heard somebody give a quote to something that makes absolutely no sense in the context that they're trying to drive? I mean, you can use any terminology, what you want. I think that if we wanted to do this for just a brief moment, we could talk about learning teams, or we could talk about operational learning, however you want to take a look at it. But I also look at it and go, why does that language get mixed up sometimes? Why is there balloons? With an RCA, root cause analysis. I don't get it. And listen, I understand the intent. I understand wanting to drive certain things forward. But why does the language get so messed up? Why do we start talking about stuff that makes absolutely no sense in the context? And I don't know if it's done intentionally or if it's done for, I want to be part of the cool kids. I always look at it from this particular fashion. if you really want to know what's going on inside of your workplace, don't learn some new lingo, because that's not the case of what should be done. What needs to be done is that we need to start having conversations where we can turn things, where we can focus on things, where we can turn around and say, hey, life is good, life is grand, but there is no way in hell that we can continue doing work the way that we're doing it. And if you go and talk to the people in the field, the frontline workers, they can tell you more about what's going on inside of your system than anyone else on the planet. Some people don't like hearing that, but it's the truth. If I sit in a boardroom, and not picking on the boardroom people, I'm just using this as an example. If I sit in a boardroom and all I talk about is numbers and don't understand the true work that's going on there, who am I doing a disservice for? Is it for you? Is it for me? Is it for someone else? I don't know. Because where the work is being done is what needs to be looked at. And some people will sit back and go, well, you don't understand how some of this business stuff works. Well, I'll put it to you this way. I know that we can't stay in business if we're not making money. Because you're definitely not taking a government grant. Not at this point. So what do you want to do? What do you want to talk about? Maybe today. Today. If you need a starting point, let's start here. You go out there and you talk to someone. You say, listen, no ego, nothing else. Tell me what the problem is within our system. Tell me what the problem is within the organization. My favorite question is, what's the dumbest rule that you have here? And I ask these things because that's how things will change. The people that have the most influence over the system are normally not the people that are involved with it. Think about it for a moment. I like expertise. And at some point, I really liked expertise on paper. And then I realized that the true experts are the people doing the work. It took me years to get to that point. But think about it for a moment. How much better would your system be if you allowed the people that are actually doing the work to have some level of control over it?
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
I know you all want to hit your revenue targets and get the launch done. Well, making sure that your team knows what to do and how to do it is a huge part of it. So I'm sure that you all do different kinds of training, and I'm willing to bet that you probably use PowerPoint, Zoom, etc. I also bet that when you get someone droning on about a topic using these tools, you probably zone out. And your team does too. I mean, it is a reality of what happens. That's why I strongly recommend a tool called Articulate 360. That makes it so easy to whip together interactive, really beautiful e-learnings that really engages people and gets info across. You can create short-form micro-learning, super interactive courses, and really whatever you need when you're in their site. Then with a couple of clicks, you can send it out and check on it and see the progress of your team. Your team can also check back on the training anytime they want in a super simple portal. Literally everyone uses Articulate. Over 120,000 companies and all 100 Fortune 100 companies. Check it out at articulate.com/360 to start a free trial. That's articulate.com/360 to start your free trial. And don't forget to tell them that I was the one that sent you there.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
If you're anything like me, you have certain tendencies to put things off, such as filing taxes, seeing the doctor, working on that home improvement project that you're supposed to be doing, but you just haven't gotten to it. And while most of the times it works out, the one thing in life that you really cannot afford to wait on is setting up term coverage life insurance. You've probably seen life insurance commercials on TV and thought, yeah, I'll look into it later. Well, the answer is no. This isn't something that you can wait for. Choose life insurance through Ladder today. Ladder is 100% digitals, no doctors, no needles, no paperwork. When you apply for $3 million in coverage or less, just answer a few questions about your health in an application. Ladder's customers rate them 4.8 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot, and they've made Forbes' best life insurance in 2021's list. You just need a few minutes and a phone or a laptop to apply. Ladder's smart algorithm works in real time, so you'll find out if you're instantly approved. No hidden fees, cancel anytime, get full refund if you change your mind in the first 30 days. Ladder policies are issued by insurers with long proven histories of paying claims. They're rated A and A+ by AM Best. Finally, since life insurance costs more as you age, now is the time to cross it off your list. So go to ladder.com/safetyfm today to see if you're instantly approved. That's LADDER life.com/safetyfm. Ladderlife.com/safetyfm.
Jay Allen in the morning, weekdays on Radio Big.
Let me talk to you real quick. What is HelloFresh? With HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. Spend your time this month shopping for gifts and sipping cocoa, not stuck at the checkout line. Sign up for HelloFresh and get everything you need to whip up a fresh, tasty meal delivered to your door. Just choose your recipes, select a delivery date, and relax knowing the dinner's on its way. HelloFresh has over 45 recipes and more than 100 seasonal add-on items to choose from every week, so it's easier than ever to find something everyone will enjoy. Go to HelloFresh.com/safetyfm free. That's HelloFresh.com/safetyfm free to use the code safetyfm free for free breakfast for life. One breakfast item per box while subscription is active. That's free breakfast for life at HelloFresh.com/safetyfm free with code safetyfm free. And don't forget that this is why HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit.
This isn't a safety manual. It's a transmission. Jay Allen, PhD, host of the Rated R Safety Show and founder of Safety FM, has spent years pulling back the curtain on the systems we work in and the ones we don't talk about. What started as a fatal crash on the 405 became a search for truth. Through behavior-based safety, human and organizational performance, simulation theory, and everything in between. Safety, in my opinion, is raw, reflective, and real. From burnout to breakthroughs, from the matrix to the moment someone says, "This doesn't feel right." This book doesn't give you answers. It hands you the signal. Safety, in my opinion. Available now, wherever books and audiobooks are found.
Radio Big.
If I let them know fuck up my brain, I need a reason to hold on, motivate me to go strong. It's a problem and I just can't hold on. I've been fighting my demons. Lately the pressure been stacking up high. You either swim or you sink and you die, and you cannot start if you play from the side. Lately I need a reason to hold on, motivate me to go strong. I don't want them demons off me, I just want them all. I've been fighting my demons.
Yes, I've been fighting my demons, no doubt about that. This is the Rated R Safety Show. Yeah, this right here is Lucha with some demons here. Songs readily available on Spotify, Apple Music, and some YouTube music, no doubt there. Yep, some good times there, no doubt. You know how it is. You can't get enough of a good thing. So there you go. We'd like to thank Lucha for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. No doubt about that. So there you go. Always some good times. Always trying to find some new music on the things that we can play around here. Because, man, music makes the world turn around and around and around. Or as I like to say from time to time, is that, music was the first system. We'll leave it that way. Okay, what do we got? What do we got? Let's talk about this. Let me tell you about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime, and that's about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help. And the people at To Write Love on Their Arms want you to know that people have been where you are now and that things can get better. Healing is possible. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com and click on the section that says Find Help. Once you get there, there'll be information related to addiction, depression, anxiety, eating disorders, self-injury, suicide, trauma, grief support, just to name a few. That's TWLOHA.com and click on the section that says Find Help. There you go. Some information for you. Some information for you to change everything. Seriously, this right here can have a huge impact on your life in regards to what we're talking about. Seriously, we all kind of, at some point struggle a little bit. So there you go. TWLOHA.com To Write Love on Her Arms. Information readily available for you to take a gander at as we are going. Okay, let's talk about some other things going on. So let's see. Slashing lashes. Yes, I said that. So, and I'm not surprised that I'm saying this as going to be hearing to the people that are going to be hearing it. But a new trend among men is shaving off their eyelashes. Yeah, why? Well, apparently it's being done to for the belief of having no lashes makes them look more masculine. And yes, really, on TikTok, Instagram, and X, guys from Turkey to New Zealand have been putting the clippers and scissors frighteningly close to their eyeballs in search of stubbler, manlier lashes. Yes. And for asking the barbers to do the buzz cut, experts are unsurprisingly are not fans of this idea. One surgeon pointed out that eyelashes are crucial to eye health and that removing them, you're putting yourself at risk for dry eye, irritation, and yes, even eye injury. Blamed for its potentially harmful trend that goes in the recent so-called macho revival promoted by influencers like Andrew Tate and even Mark Zuckerberg, who has been talking about the masculine energy. Finally, a trend that are both pointless and pokes you in the eye. Because nothing says masculinity like ocular discomfort. I mean, have you ever sat around and thought about this and said, damn it, man, I think I would look more masculine if I went ahead and took out my eyelashes?
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
I hope shaving your eyebrows doesn't become the next thing, because that's going to get weird quick. I mean, think about that for just a moment. It's just weird. Let's talk about Did You Know real quick. Consistent screen use has been linked to a greatly increased risk of neck pain, according to a new review published by the Journal of BMC Public Health. Study authors took data points from about 25 studies involving more than 43,000 participants from 13 countries and found that the behavior, including the screen-based behavior such as using mobile phones, computers, and watching TV for 6 hours per day, was closely associated with participants' complaints of neck pain. Using the phones was found to be the riskiest screen activity, increasing the likelihood of neck pain by 82%. And I have a hunch that my neck pains are only going to get worse. Just saying. Let's bring some more positive things into light here. Let's bring in some John Smalls and let him tell us about the Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com.
The Motivation Minute.
Today's quote was submitted by Michael. Simon Sinek said, "We take responsibility for our actions at the time we perform our action, not at the time we get caught." What a great point. I recently spoke with somebody who had to call the police on his friend when she was drinking and driving. She was upset because she was arrested. I told him that, hey, you did the right thing. His friend was upset with him, but she has no right to be upset with him. He may have actually saved her life and the lives of many others. She needs to take responsibility in her life for the decisions she's making. If she makes the choice to break the law and endanger the lives of anyone in her path, she is to blame for her arrest, nobody else.
The Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Hello, I'm Rich Wexler with your 1-minute devotion. The people vilifying you are not your real enemies. Sometimes they are evil people. That is, they are willing accomplices of the enemy, but more often than not, they are simply his unwitting tools. When Peter rebuked Jesus, he was the unwitting tool of Satan. But when Judas betrayed Jesus, he was a willing accomplice. When we speak against those who oppose us, we miss a mark. Our real enemies are the evil spiritual forces who are manipulating the people who are attacking us. As the apostle said, our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the spiritual forces of evil. Lord Jesus, empower us with your Holy Spirit that we may battle in the spirit world. Amen. If these devotions are a blessing and an encouragement to you, you can subscribe at oneminutedevotion.com.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
Russian President Vladimir Putin stated that Russia has the strength to achieve its aims in the war in Ukraine. However, he expressed hope that nuclear weapons would not be required.
Putin declared Russia could take the conflict to its logical conclusion. In response, Ukraine's ambassador to the U.S., Oksana Markarova, described Putin's remarks as indicating he is a threat. These comments aired just before a planned 3-day ceasefire announced by Putin, though Ukrainian President Zelensky expressed disbelief Russia would adhere to it. Benjamin Wright reporting.
Israeli cabinet ministers have reportedly approved a new military plan aimed at capturing the entire Gaza Strip. Officials indicate the plan involves remaining in the territory for an unspecified period.
This development comes amid warnings from doctors about the catastrophic effects of the ongoing blockade on humanitarian aid into Gaza. They report severe shortages of food, water, and medicine leading to preventable illnesses and deaths. Separately, Hamas announced Friday it executed 6 Palestinians for alleged looting. Joseph Eckerson reporting.
In Romania, hard-right Eurosceptic George Simion has won the first round of the country's presidential election rerun. Preliminary results give Simion 41% of the vote.
The runner-up, Bucharest Mayor Nicu Sordan, received roughly 21% support. The two will face each other in a runoff election scheduled for May 18th. This election rerun occurred after the country's constitutional court annulled a previous vote held last November. Jim Kender reporting.
President Trump announced Sunday that he plans to reopen the federal prison on Alcatraz Island. He also intends to expand the facility, which closed in 1963.
Trump stated the infamous prison, located in San Francisco Bay, would be used to house the nation's most ruthless and violent offenders. The original prison was shut down due to high operating costs and deteriorating infrastructure. It has since become a major tourist attraction. Lawrence Keller reporting.
Residents near SpaceX's South Texas facility have voted to incorporate the area into a new new municipality. The newly formed city will officially be known as Starbase.
The vote formalizes the name often used colloquially for the home of Elon Musk's rocket company near Boca Chica Beach. Proponents argued incorporation would provide better local services and control. The site is crucial for SpaceX's Starship development program. Kyle Norris reporting.
The Trump administration unveiled a new immigration initiative on Monday, offering payments to undocumented immigrants. The plan involves paying individuals $1,000 if they agree to leave the country voluntarily.
The Department of Homeland Security stated the program aims to facilitate self-deportation. In addition to the cash payment, the government says it will provide assistance with travel arrangements. This marks another step in the administration's efforts to increase deportations and reduce the number of people residing in the U.S. without authorization. Kevin Sanders reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
We're rocking all day at work because we don't give a duck. Autocorrect probably just saved my ass there.
Like I give a flying, you know.
Okay, there you go. 55 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out. Let's talk about some things that happened back on this date. Back in 2017, MTV becomes the first major network to adopt gender-neutral categories for its TV and movie awards. Emma Watson wins Best Film Actor, and Millie Bobby Brown wins for Best TV Actor. That happened back on this date in 2017. Let's talk about some birthdays that are going on today. Tommy Fury turns 26 today. Mr. Beast turns 27. Alexander Ludwig turns 33. Russell Dickerson, 38. Adie Bryant turns 38 as well. Matt Helder's 39. Jay Balvin turns 40. Kevin Owens turns 41. Brecken Meyer turns 51. And Michael Rosen turns 79. If you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, it's National Tourism Day, National Cosmopolitan Day, Children Mental Health Awareness Day, National School Nurse Day. So there you go, some things you can celebrate if you're so inclined to do so. If you need a random joke for today, I never finish anything. I have a black belt in partial parts. Get it? Partial parts. Not martial arts, but partial parts. Okay, just check them. Okay, what else? If you need a phone starter for today, try this. Why did you eat so much okay, hold on. Why did you eat so much of that now you hate it? What was it? What was the item that you ate so much of that you hate it now? If you need a question for the water cooler, try this. A survey says that 15% of people of us, well, let me say this. 15% of us rather do this chore without our significant other. What is it? Grocery shopping. Nope, I'd rather just do it online. That way I don't have to do shit. Okay, so there you go. Anyways, that's going to sum up our time together at the top of the hour. I will be going over to radiobig.fm if you want to come and hang out with me for the next couple hours or so. If you don't, you can stay right here on Safety FM and hang out with the likes of Sheldon Primus as he's talking about the world of safety consulting. So, some items for you to do if you're so inclined to do so. Thank you for always being the best part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener, because without you, it makes no sense to do what we do around here. No doubt about that. If I can't leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this one. They always say that time changes things, but you actually have to change them yourself. Think about that. Anyways, I know who you are. You know who I am. Love ya, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Safety FM and or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios, as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are not reflective of Safety FM and or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of Safety FM and or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact Safety FM or Radio Big directly.